So amidst the ceasefire, it's being reported that Hezbollah is already looking to rebuild after losing half of its weapons stockpile, according to US intelligence. Now, this needs a lot of unpacking, and I'll read to you the report from US intelligence, but it's so important that the right moves are made. Times of Israel are reporting that Hezbollah has been significantly degraded militarily by Israel, losing more than half its weapons stockpile, but the Iran-backed Lebanese terror group will likely try to rebuild its arms and forces and pose a long-term threat to the US and its regional allies, 4 sources briefed on updated US intelligence told Reuters Wednesday. The evaluation came as Israel continued to hit what it said were Hezbollah forces violating a ceasefire that came into effect last week, while Washington said that the deal it helped broker was holding up. The ceasefire is meant to put a halt to nearly 14 months of cross-border fighting between Israel and Hezbollah that began when the group started firing at Israel in solidarity with allied Palestinian terror organisation Hamas amid the war in Gaza. Securing the border area for northern residents, tens of thousands of whom were displaced by the fighting, has been one of Israel's declared goals of the war. US intelligence agencies assessed in recent weeks that Hezbollah, even amid Israel's military campaign that decimated its leadership and weapons stockpile, has begun to recruit new fighters and was trying to find ways to rearm through domestic production and by smuggling materials through Syria, said a senior US official, an Israeli official, and 2 US lawmakers briefed on the intelligence, speaking on condition of anonymity. It's unclear to what extent those efforts have slowed since last week when Hezbollah and Israel reached the shaky ceasefire, 2 of the sources said. The deal specifically prohibits Hezbollah from procuring weapons or weapon parts or maintaining a presence in southern Lebanon. In recent days, Israel has tried to undercut Hezbollah's ability to rebuild its military forces, striking several Hezbollah rocket launchers in Lebanon, bombing border crossings with Syria, and blocking an Iranian aircraft suspected of ferrying weapons for the group. On Wednesday, the IDF said it carried out a drone strike against the Hezbollah rocket launcher that was spotted in southern Lebanon's Majd al-Zun. The launcher posed a threat to the state of Israel while violating the understandings between Israel and Lebanon, the military said. Troops also demolished Hezbollah weapons found Wednesday in southern Lebanon's Qiyam as-Sawana and Eitarun, the IDF said. US intelligence agencies assessed that Hezbollah is operating with limited firepower. It's lost more than half its weapons stockpiles and thousands of fighters during the conflict with Israel, reducing the overall military capacity of Tehran and its proxies to its lowest point in decades, according to intelligence. By the way, just to pause for a second, people were saying months ago that for Israel to get rid of Hezbollah and to thoroughly degrade them, it's going to be so bloody, there's going to be so many non-combatant civilian casualties on either side. They've got everything stored underground. It's going to be an absolute bloodbath on both sides. And look at what Israel's done through the pagers attacks, the walkie-talkies attacks, through getting Hassan Nasrallah. They have shown the most incredible ability through their intelligence also to pinpoint where rocket launchers are. And look what's happened. It's a miracle. This truly is a miracle. What they've managed to achieve. So we kind of just say, Israel's degraded by more than half their ability. That's incredible. But Hezbollah has not been destroyed. And this is where it gets a bit more tricky, because Jewish morality would dictate you thoroughly remove the threat. You don't just say, okay, all right, we'll just ceasefire now. Now, of course, I have no doubt that a big reason for this, if you listen to Netanyahu's speech, is because of the US President Biden, who has been kind of dancing a little bit to both sides, supporting Israel on the one hand, but criticizing Israel and causing for de-escalation as opposed to dealing with the threats. And it seemed clear to me from Netanyahu's speech that he's really signaling that once Trump gets in, they're going to go back to heavy fighting and getting rid of the Hezbollah threat. Because if your aim is to move the residents back to the north, because, nearly 100,000 Israelis are displaced from northern Israel. People don't talk about this. People don't know about this. I can't think where I've seen it covered in the news, honestly. Hardly mentioned in the news. Occasional mentions. And so the only acceptable terms in which they can move back is when Hezbollah is completely destroyed, completely degraded. And as the article continues, but Hezbollah has not been destroyed. It still maintains thousands of short-range rockets in Lebanon and will try to rebuild using weapons factories in neighbouring countries with available transport routes, the sources said. One of the lawmakers said Hezbollah has been knocked back in the short term and had its ability to conduct command and control reduced, but, quote, this organisation is designed to be disrupted. So I think the key point here is that they have not been fully degraded. And so, therefore, a ceasefire morally is unacceptable. Now, the Israeli government and Netanyahu may have their reasons. It's hard for us to know what's going on behind the scenes. But regardless of the right and wrongs of this, if Israel truly wishes to be sovereign, that means she is not... basically, her actions are not based on the whims of other countries' decisions and politics. So if Israel has the means and the ability to go after Hezbollah, they should do that. And if they truly wish to be sovereign, that's what real sovereignty would be. Again, I don't know, I can't possibly make fully comprehensive or confident statements when we just don't know everything that's being said behind the scenes. But I'm simply saying as a matter of fact that we cannot be fully sovereign for as long as our decisions are being dictated by foreign countries and entities. People say, well, if you don't dance the American tunes, then they'll pull back and they won't support Israel. First of all, that means Israel isn't fully sovereign then. And some people say, well, yeah. And I'd say, I don't know if that's a great approach. And they'll say, well, what's the alternative? The alternative is you do whatever you need to defeat your enemies and protect your people. And they'll say, well, what if you lose American support? Well, either we can do what we need to do to survive or we can't, and to protect ourselves. And if we're setting these precedents of letting other countries, which is only getting worse, by the way, certainly on the American progressive side of dancing to their tunes, it's just not viable. But also, I think, I would posit that America is not going to abandon Israel, even if Israel does things that they may think are politically incorrect. So, either way, this hopefully soon will become a irrelevant discussion because America is about to have a president, regardless of what you may think of him and all kinds of things. When it comes to this topic, certainly, he is very clear about his support for Israel and Israel's right to eliminate threats. And more than that, it looks like President-elect Trump will actually want to get involved in helping Israel to get rid of these threats, because he understands, as should any sane person understand, that these threats are common enemies. Hezbollah are a threat to America. They want to go after America, after Israel. They've even attacked American troops. This is not some theory. So let's be clear. They share the same enemies, and either way, Israel has every moral right and duty to return her people in the north as soon as possible to safety, with these threats from Hezbollah completely eliminated. If you made it so far in this video, that means you probably appreciate the work we're doing at JTV to spread the truth about Israel and create positive associations with Jews, Judaism and Israel for the entire world. I really believe that part of fighting anti-Semitism is to create pro-Semitism and share and inspire people with the truth. There's so much anti-Israel media, online channels, and I think that it's time we start competing with them. We're already having a big impact, but there's a lot more that we can do. I've got a plan, a vision, which is to start doing more documentaries, animated content, having more presenters like me doing other shows to really accelerate the growth and impact that we're having. The impact is really good, but there's even more we could be doing. So we're doing a crowdfunding campaign in order to fund that vision and to scale JTV. The question is, would you consider partnering with us? Would you consider donating to this crowdfunding campaign in order to partner with us in scaling JTV, partnering with us in spreading the truth of Israel, Judaism and Jews to the entire world? If you would, please click on the donate button in the link below this video. The campaign's official launch is in a few days from now, but you can actually donate right now. So please click on the link if you want to partner with us in sharing the truth and spreading it to all corners of the world through the power of the internet. Again, click on the link in the video description of this video and please support the work we're doing. I'd be so grateful for any support you're able to give, and you truly will become a partner with us in our mission.